Captain's Log, supplemental, coming to you from the living room because, of course, I went to bed at 9 p.m. And when I go to bed at 9 p.m., my eyes blink open in the middle of the night. So it is quarter after 1 a.m. in the a.m. And I just wanted to tell you what happened yesterday, the 17th. Today is, I guess, technically it's the 18th of November. I'm talking quiet because Maddie's asleep in the other room. I thought I would be bringing better news because for those of you that don't know, I've got hairy cell leukemia. I've already gone through the 5 initial chemotherapy treatments of cladribine. Those went well. And then they wanted me to wait 5 weeks, and I was going to come in and I was going to take a drug which is a monoclonal inhibitor called Rituxin. So I felt kind of crappy the previous night, but I thought, well, let me go in. And I went in and I got past the initial screening with the forehead temperature scanners. They said, hey, temperature normal. Duh. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe I just had a headache. And I sat down in the chair, and what I thought was going to be one stick of a IV, and then just sit there for 5 hours, and they monitor me, and it's basically, anticlimactic because they just monitor me and nothing happens. Kind of like with the with the chemo. I sit down, she takes my temperature, and it's 100.5. So she said, okay, well, let me just try it one more time. So she reset the machine. She tried it one more time. 100.5. I'm like, okay, so what happens now? She's like, let me go ask. So what I thought was going to be 5 hours of just chilling out in the chair and going to sleep and not a worry in the world turned into the infection protocol, because my neutrophils are at like 700, so I'm like danger low with my immune system. I mean, my white blood cells are at 1100, so I'm just hanging out on death's edge. But so they kick in the protocols, and instead of getting 5 hours of chilling, they came over with the urinalysis cup, and the lab guy comes over, and mind you, he's a nice enough guy, but he's the only person in the lab who, when I sat down in his chair, he couldn't find my vein. And I mean, y'all that know me, any of the nurses that know me are like, you got good veins. So he's rooting around trying to find the vein in a previous visit. And he couldn't find it. I finally said, dude, just take it out and try again. So he did, and he finally got it. So I'm already worried because I don't like getting stuck, and this cancer is BS, man. You get stuck a lot. And so he's sitting there, and I'm like, crap, that dude. Okay. So they're like, okay, you got to get labs. And so I'm looking, and he's like, yeah, I got to get labs from both sides. I'm like, oh man, can you just, like, the nurse, who, she does a good job. She put in my IV. So I got my original IV that I was going to get, but then I also got the freaking lab work on the other side. And then, it's not encouraging when somebody goes to try to get blood out of your IV and they're like, it's not working. And you're like, dude, you better make that work. You better, I don't want to have to jack slap you. So I didn't jack slap him. He finally got it. So I started balling up my fist and just, we'll force some blood out. And so I guess he finally got the blood that he needed out of that side. So lab work was all taken, and there was that ominous cup just chilling out, and I did not have to go to the bathroom. So what awaited me after that was I had to get 2 hours of antibiotics through the IV. Then I got fluids through the IV, and the antibiotics weren't bad, but man, those fluids, it was like somebody was just sticking ice water in my veins. They were so freaking cold. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like chilling, and but I didn't want to get a blanket because I didn't want to start sweating, So I just endured it. And then they finally brought me, after the fluids, they brought me more antibiotics. And so they plugged me into those. Well, after like 2-3 hours of getting fluids pumped into you, then you finally need to go. Well, I still got the dang IV hooked up to me. So that becomes this whole new and interesting thing called Cayveman goes to the bathroom with an IV hooked to him and has to give a specimen. So I get the bottle, and the first problem is I gotta go pee really bad. So I'm sitting there, and they had sealed the bottle to show that it was sterilized. I'm trying to get the lid off, and it would not freaking come off. And I had to pee. I thought I was gonna wet myself. I'm sitting in there, I'm trying to get that lid off. I got the IV hooked up to me. I'm hoping everything doesn't fall in the toilet because there's like no table in there. They got one of those pedestal style sinks. So I'm like, oh, this sucks. So finally, I just manhandled that damn specimen cup, got the lid off, wiped off my pee-pee with the little sterile thing, and I could have filled like, I don't know, like 5 of those cups. So I filled that one. So then comes the challenge of, okay, I'm halfway through mid-pee, and I mean, anybody that's stopped midstream knows, anybody that's given a urine sample knows, that's the hardest part of it all. And then there's no table, so I'm sitting on that like handicap guardrail, hoping that it doesn't fall over. I sit that on there, I finish peeing, and then pee like goes everywhere. I'm like, oh, man, I'm an idiot. So I'm like, ah, oh, screw it. I just finished peeing, and at least I didn't get any on myself. I wiped off with the sanitary wipe. I closed up the lids, and I put that in the little hazardous bag, and then I dug out a bunch of toilet paper. I'm like cleaning the thing. I'm cleaning the seat, and then I notice it's all over the floor. I'm cleaning the floor. It's like, I'm so glad we had this time together. It's like Carol Burnett with my, toilet paper mop. And so I get that all cleaned up. And then I'm like, now how do I move all this crap over to wash my hands? So that was a chore. And I had, of course, my IV crap in. So, trying to wash your hands, that becomes a chore. But I did it. And then we went in. And then, of course, my antibiotics were only 30-minute antibiotics, so the alarm is going off that it's empty. So I was like, diddle, 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 dummy, dummy, dummy. So that's going off. So everybody can hear. I'm sure everybody can hear it outside because the bathroom is like right bordering all the treatment area, and my treatment bay was like full of people, mostly women. And so that was super embarrassing. But it's one of those things where you just gotta come out. You just gotta look cool. Like, yeah, all right, took care of it, got my hazard bag, got my pee, good to go, got this down. And so then I slide back and I hit my little call button, and my nurse comes up, she starts taking off all the IV bag and all that crap, and then they got to put the saline and stuff. And then as the capstone event, I still, even though I had done my urinalysis stuff, my labs with the blood, my infusion of all the freaking fluids, I still had to go get a chest x-ray because part of the protocol is that they want to check you for pneumonia. So that was actually the easiest part of it all. So I went and did that, and from there on out, it was all downhill. So I looked on my Apple Watch for his location, and he was driving by, coming back from his appointment. So I hit him up on the phone. He swung by. He got me. We went home, and we made tacos. So that's the story of how I didn't get my Rituxin. So what they're going to do is they've got like home health people coming in. That's why they left in the IV thing. The home health people are going to come and give me another shot of IV stuff tomorrow, or I guess today, later today by 10, and then I'll still go. I was going to have 8 one-week sessions of Rituxin. They said I'll still go for my checkup on Monday, and then instead of Tuesday being my second session of Rituxin, it'll be my first. So, hey, everybody out there who's wishing me well, this is what's going on with me. Love you guys. Keep the well wishes coming. Keep the prayers coming. And I love you guys.